Hey again, guys. Do you know what I like to do when I need a break from working at night? I like to look at some baseball cards. I put out a survey and I put a number of sets and asked you all to vote on what you'd like to see. And the T205 from 1911 eked out. And that's the set I'm going to show now. So we're just going to delve in. I have a lot of these cards and some related issues. And man, this is one of the more rare sets. They're way more rare than the T206s, but T206s seem to get all the love. And some of these cards, I believe, are undervalued because they just don't get the love that the T206s get. I'm going to start with the very first one I ever got when I was young, and that is the Christy Mathewson. A beautiful card. And here's the Ty Cobb. Here's a Trish Speaker. Walter Johnson. Cy Young. Eddie Seacott. Here's a great Frank Chance. Home Run Baker. This was one of the first ones I ever got. Eddie Collins. He has another version with his mouth open. Doesn't look as good as this, but it's more rare and carries a little bit of a premium over this one. A very underrated early player, and that is Zach Wheat. I do believe he's underrated and his cards are undervalued. Great player. Tommy Leach. Some argue he should be in the Hall of Fame, one of the best early shortstops, and that's Bad Bill Dalen. George Gibson. And Big Ed Delahanty's brother, Jim Delahanty. There were three brothers. Ed, of course, was head and shoulders above the others just because he was possibly, one of the early greatest players in history. Doesn't have many cards. And this is Gabby Street. He once did a promotion where they dropped a baseball out of the Washington Monument and he caught it. It took him like 12 tries to actually catch it. And George Mullen. Good pitcher. I love the T205 set. Now, you're not going to find these usually as high grade as T206s. Not that you will find T206s in high grade too often, but these, I guarantee you, these didn't even come out of the pack of 7. So if you find these over a 5, I would either jump on it or question who graded it. Oh, man. We have Mordecai, Three-Finger Brown. This is probably the hat he wore. And we have Chief Bender. Another one of the first ones I got, and that's Joe Tinker. And Big Ed Walsh, the last pitcher to win 40 games. And Buck Herzog. And I think this card's haunted. because when I got it, I started to see all kind of orbs on my camera that I have monitoring my room. But they were little orbs like baseballs, so I think maybe these guys are just playing ball in my room. They probably just missed the game, you know? Now, some related issues are the silks. I believe the same year. Here's a Ty Cobb. Three Finger Brown. John McGraw. Fred Clark. And these came in a few different variations. And I have another variation of this that Dave Blue Jacket 66 sent me. So I have two versions of that one. Ruben Marquardt. And Johnny Kling. And then the following year, they produced these babies. And this is the first one I ever got, these triple folders. Another Fred Clark there. And here's the one with Bad Bill Dalen. And Home Run Baker. And that's great with the early A's team. And Tris Speaker. And Ty Cobb. And I love this one because it has the classic image in the middle. You know, there are some variations of these, and there's another variation of Ty Cobb. And the Tris Speaker I showed you, there's a version with him, and he's with Smokey Joe Wood. And I really like to get that version. It's a little harder to find and a little more pricey. And this is great because this is Deacon Philippe and George Gibson, and they were the battery for the Pittsburgh Pirates. One of the greatest teams of all time, the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirate World Champions. So I thought that was cool since it was the battery. And here's Chief Wilson and Tommy Leach. Also for my Pirates. Now, Owen Chief Wilson, he holds the record for most triples in a single season, and that'll probably never be broken. It was 36, because back then the ballparks were, you know, much bigger, and triples were a little easier to come by. And that's a record not a lot of people talk about. And of course, I mentioned over and over again that Tommy Leach scored the first run in a modern day World Series in 1903. Now, Owen Chief Wilson got his nickname because manager Fred Clark said that he reminded him he looked like a Texas Ranger, a chief from a Texas Ranger. And that's how he got his nickname. They started calling him Chief. And so that's what I have for you today. Man, I got some work to do to put these all back. But the T205 is a great set. I think they're undervalued. I mean, they're really hard to find. Some of them are extremely hard to find. What's the Bobby Wallace with... there's a Bobby Wallace with no hat, and there's a couple variations of that. That's a rare one. And Addie Joss has a card in this set, and it's not from his playing days because Addie Joss died young, and he died right before this set was produced. So it's actually afterwards, but it's an expensive card and highly sought after. So there's some information on the great T205 set. So once again, thanks for watching.